Hello, I'm Brian Michael with Cooper&Hunter, and today we're going to show how to install the electric auxiliary heat kit inside the PEAQ air handler. Depending upon which air handler you're installing, whether it's the 18,000 up to the 5 ton, you'll have a couple of options for electric heat kits. Today we're going to show you how to install the 5 kW, and we go up to 20 kW. You may have a single circuit breaker or a dual circuit breaker. As you'll see here, we have a knockout for both of those. You also have your wiring terminal here for your power to the main circuit board, and also you'll be bringing a power wire into each of the circuit breakers. The heat kit itself, as you see, this is going to be a single row of electric elements. We could have up to 5 different elements. We'll mount in directly through the panel on the back side here, as we'll show in a few minutes, and mount securely in here. Okay, let's do step 1 and unscrew the panel. With the panel removed now, you can see back here, this is the panel that we'll be removing here shortly to put the electric heat in. First step before removing the board is to disconnect the connectors going down to our coil. And you'll see some of these here will have a shipping tab on there. You take a pair of needle nose, pull that off. You no longer need that after it's a one-time deal. And one more tab. And now we are disconnected completely from the electronics below. With the connectors disconnected, next step is to remove the 3 screws. You got one at the bottom here, 2 at the top. And with the screws removed, now we should slowly pull out the board assembly. And as you feel some tension on the back side here is a connector. Pull that connector off and you have a complete disassembly of the board. Okay. Next step is to remove the plate. You'll see there's 4 screws here. You'll also see the connector for L1, L2. We no longer need that, so we can remove this plate and discard it. And with the plate removed, now you can see there's an opening here where this is where we'll insert our heat kit. The next step is we'll insert the heater itself inside the panel removed. We give you some handles here, and you're gonna slowly come in here, and on the back side here, there's a hook for the end to go on there. Line up your screw holes, put in your 4 screws, and the electric heat's mounted. Next step will be to mount the breaker, and we'll have some screws that we'll put in here in a second. Next step is to mount the circuit breaker plate. So you got a tab under here. There's 2 screw holes right here. We get that into place. Then we got a safety cover here. That'll go right over to the circuit breaker. And we'll just 2 screws and that'll mount that in perfectly. Next step before we put the circuit board back in is that we need to put the circuit board connector, the power that's incoming right here for L1, L2 for the air handler. So we can snake that through back here. So after we snake the wiring harness back behind the circuit breaker assembly here, we'll have 2 wires that connect to the board. Before you mount the board inside, you'll connect this to the back. And then this will connect to the front, and this is the control voltage to the relay that's on the back of the circuit breaker assembly. So before putting the circuit board assembly back in, you'll see where we disconnected the plug before. We're going to plug this in right here. Make sure it's good and snug. And then we can slide the assembly right back into place. And we'll have the 1, 2, 3 screws here. And we'll take the control voltage and we'll plug that right here into CN14. And this is what provides 24 volts to the relay that activates the heater kit. And then we got to reconnect the cables that we disconnected earlier. They should match up. Easy peasy. And then we can put them snugly inside the wire mounts. And there we have the electric heat kit, board, circuit breaker. Next step will be to run the wires. When installing the electric auxiliary heat kit, the wiring is important to understand. It is two separate power sources. We'll have a power wire that wires to the circuit breaker that acts as an on-off switch for the auxiliary electric heat strips, and then a separate power source here on L1, L2 just for the air handler itself. To assist in wiring up the unit, we do have a series of knockouts on the top and as well as on the side of the cabinet. I'm choosing to use the 1/2-inch knockout today for power wiring for my demonstration, and I'll use one here. The other 1/2-inch for the fittings that I do have for the power wire just for the air handler itself. With the circuit breaker panel in place, before we put the final cover over it here, we want to make sure that we get the power wire into the circuit breaker, wire up to the high voltage wiring for the air handler itself, and then we'll place this over here and use the same 2 screw holes that you saw up there for the bracket. So the power wire for the actual air handler itself, you'll see that it's a 3-terminal block. You want to make sure that you use the L1 and L2. Now with the PEAQ, remember this is adaptive voltage. You could use 110 or 220. So we must make sure that we wire this up properly here. The terminal 3 we utilize when we're using our mini split systems and use it as part of the communication. We're just using the same block, but in this case here, we're just going to use 1 and 2. So now we're wired up to our circuit breaker here for our aux heat power. You'll see that we got a ground lug here, so we can bring the ground wire up to here. And then we wired in our L1 and L2. In this application, I'm using 110 volts. I'm also using fork terminals, and we give you a ground here in case I wanted to use the fork terminal for the smaller wire. So after we're done with our wiring, next step is to protect the protective cover over it. We'll slide right over the circuit breaker. We'll line up our screw holes here. Okay, so now we got our protective cover on here, and the next step is to put the door cover on. So to prep the door for this here, again, we got 2 knockouts here. And if you follow the instruction manual, it'll tell you which knockout to knock out for which heater kit. In this instance here, we're using the 5 kW. We're gonna knock out the one on to the left. And with the knockout removed here on the front side, you'll also come to the back side, you'll see there's some insulation. It's actually perforated, so you can just take a straight edge, knock that out, pull out the insulation to create our hole for our next step here to put the door over the circuit breaker. After removing the knockout on our door, next part is you got a little bracket plate here, silicone cover, and a foam gasket. Foam gasket you'll peel back, put on one side of the silicone, take it on your door, place it on the door, and then you'll have your bracket here, 4 screw holes that you'll see will line up perfectly with 4 dimples that were on the door. We've already pre-drilled this for this example. That's why you see the holes there already. With the silicone cover in place, now we can open the door. The silicone will line up with the bracket. It covers the circuit breaker. And then put the screws back in the door. And with the silicone in place, now we can safely turn on and off the circuit breaker for the auxiliary heat before we take off the door for servicing the unit. First step is to take off the lower panel so we can access the coil. And we'll have us remove screws from here, 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 and then all these little small screws. It only takes a couple seconds with a good drill. Okay, so now we can remove the door, put that out to the side, and then there's one more screw, because there's always one more screw, before we can pull the coil out. So with that screw removed here and this one loose in here, then the coil should be able to start pulling slightly out. Before we pull the coil out, we need to loosen the reusable zip straps. So as you see here, this helps us get slack in the wire. You just push up the tab here. There's 3 of them. And those pull out, and this will give us plenty of slack in the wire. Kind of like to push this back in here and then gently pull the coil out. And as you see with the coil out, we got plenty of slack here. We don't have to disconnect any wires. Turn the coil over. You'll notice there's two tracks. They're a little recessed, so we can get the coil back in a little bit and then jiggle it into place, and it should slide easily in as so. Pull the wires up, and then it falls back into place. So with the coil back in place, one of the things we need to do to help with the routing of the wires is you'll see that there's a little bit of a perforation here. You can cut that perforation and fold this back, and then we can put the wires underneath and then flip it back so it stays insulated and less chance of condensation off dripping somewhere where it shouldn't. A little trough here so we can have the wires. It's not on any sharp edges. It's sticky back, so you can push it back over and the wires are protected. Next step is that we need to relocate the room air thermistor. When you look at the coil, you'll see up here there's a grommet. Take a look underneath the coil here. It's on a clip. We'll remove it from the clip. And then we can pull the thermistor out through the grommet. And then we can relocate it in the hole down below. And gently tuck the wires back up here. So that way it's in the airstream when it's on the downflow side, getting an accurate room air reading. So with the wires protected and the thermistor relocated, now we can gently push the coil back in. Okay, make sure everything's lined up. And down here at the bottom, let's not forget that one extra screw. I suggest doing that one first. It helps line everything else up. And then I suggest before putting the panel on, bundle up back your wires into the zip strap. So with the straps back in place, the last step will be to put the cover back on. And now we have successfully relocated the coil for a downflow orientation or a horizontal left application.